Hi everyone, this is William from Own This Property, and today we'll be having a property showdown. We got two very interesting condos launching right now, and they happen to be both in the OCR and about the same price. So if you're considering a property at either Lentor Hills Residences or the Myst, which one should you choose? Now in this video, I'll be going through briefly the project overview, the location and amenities, but I won't go through the layouts and floor plans since they are pretty similar. And you can just drop me a WhatsApp to receive the full brochure and floor plans. We'll spend more time doing in-depth research, starting from price analysis, the downside protection factors, the upside potential, and exit strategy. So finally, stay tuned to the end to find out which property you should be buying. First up, Lentor Hills is the second launch in the area after Lentor Modern, also by GoGoLand, but this time round, they actually partnered with Hong Leong to build 598 units with a range of 1-bedroom to 4-bedroom door-key units, and is expected to TOP in December 2028. This is a full facilities condo, so you can see a huge swimming pool, tennis court, and a lot of facilities. Interestingly, the buildings are arranged in number 8 in Chinese, a 八字形, so the number 8 probably looks very fun. Next is the Myst by CDL, and they consist of 408 units with a range of 1-bedroom plus study to 5-bedroom units. The expected TOP is a little bit later in March 2029. Now, this condo also has full facilities with a tennis court. Unlike Lentor Hills that have 1-for-1 parking lots, the Myst only has about 330 parking lots, or about 80%, which is more than enough. So when comparing the developers, both have a very strong track record in Singapore, but to have a real fair comparison, let's use BCA's new Concast rating system. So they have a bandings from about 1 being the best to 6 being the worst. For Lentor Hills, GoGoLand and Hong Leong are both Band 2, and their builder Lianbing is also in Band 2. For the Myst, CDL is in Band 1, the top band, and their builder Dragajazz is also Band 1. So purely based on this Concast rating system, the Myst does have better historical results, but Band 2 is really not bad for Lentor Hills anyway. So if you're an investor, I don't think that really makes a significant difference in returns. But if you're buying for own stay or for the longer term, then maybe you should factor this into your decision and place more weight for these developer ratings. Now, location and amenities. So you don't need all the parking lots anyway because these two projects are very near the MRT. Lentor Hills is just 240 meters away from Lentor MRT, and right now you don't get much amenities, but with Lentor Modern completed before you, you will get decent amount of F&Bs and also a supermarket. The Myst is a little further at about 410 meters away to Cashew MRT, and it is going to be fully sheltered, or 680 meters away from Bukit Panjang. So while you have eateries nearby, to get more F&B options and the supermarket, you will have to go to the malls at Bukit Panjang, where you have Hillian Mall, the Integrated Transport Hub, Junction 10, as well as Bukit Panjang Plaza. In terms of travelling time to the city for Lentor MRT, it takes about 18 minutes to Orchard and 27 minutes to Raffles Place. From Cashew MRT, it takes about 22 minutes to Orchard MRT and 30 minutes to Raffles Place MRT. All in all, Lentor Hills is closer to the MRT and faster to the city, although only just by a little bit. On the other hand, the Myst does have better amenities in the area, as Bukit Panjang is a much more mature estate. So all in all, I would say that this is going to be a tie between the two. Now let's talk about price. GoGoLand and Hong Leong acquired the Lentor Hills plot via government land sales for $1,060 per square feet. And this is pretty good. It translates to a break-even of about $1,749 per square feet, and I'm guessing that the average on-launch day will be around $1,980 per square feet. This represents less than a 20% profit margin for the developer, but it makes sense because firstly, they can't possibly sell it more expensive than the mixed-use Lentor Modern, and secondly, they also need to compete with the future developments that are coming up in the area. So what I would predict is a wider price disparity between units that are within 1 km of St. Nicholas and units that are not. Almost everyone that I've talked to are aiming for units that are within 1 km. So I'm sure the developer is aware of this and they will price it accordingly to maximize their profits. In the Lentor area, we have the Calrose and Thornton Grove, which are both transacting at about $1,500 to $1,700 per square feet. These are more than 28-year-old properties, so for the average entry price of $1,980 and Lentor Hills, I think that this represents a narrow price premium to the resale properties nearby, and hence will have minimal downside risk. Now, Lentor Hills also have the second lowest land cost price, with only GoCoLand's Lentor Gardens coming in lower at $985 per square feet. Because the GLS was in April 2023, it falls under the new URA guidelines. Simply put, for the same plot of land, developers now have less floor area to build and will likely pass on to consumers a higher price. Hence, if you're only looking at the Lentor area, I think that the ones to consider are Lentor Hills and Lentor Gardens, but Lentor Gardens won't happen so soon, probably the second half next year. And this is because these two plots have lower land costs and they are also 1 km to St. Nicholas. Next, the Myst land acquisition is a little bit more interesting. CDL acquired the land parcel in April 2022 from automobile company Tan Chong International via a private treaty. So the exact break-even price is not known. CDL said in the statement that around a third of the units will be priced at the sweet spot of $1.5 million and below. So clearly they are marketing it as an accessible mass market project because in the OCR, these are your future buyers. I think the average on launch day will be around $1,970 per square feet, and that represents a lot of value. Compared to the recent launches in the area, Simlian's group The Botany and Dairy Farm has already sold at an average price of $2,070 per square feet. For about $100 per square feet cheaper, you get more primary schools, more malls, amenities, closer to the MRT, and more upside potential factors such as HDB upgraders. So I think if you are looking in the west area, the Myst, if you can get it under $2,000 per square feet, is a very safe entry price. Now, compared to the older resale in the area, we have a mix of 99-year and 999-year properties. This chart also gives me a lot of confidence in the area. As you can see, all the resale properties have performed well. Helian, which is about 10 years older, of course is integrated. Next door, Hazel Park, which is 27 years older, and Cashew Heights, which is more than 30 years older. If you're buying a new launch property, you have higher land costs, higher construction costs. So what's important to understand is your downside risk. When the much more older resale properties are already transacting at this price, it represents a very narrow price gap and hence minimal downside risk. All in all, I think both Lentor Hills and the Myst are good entry prices for OCR properties today as they both have limited downside risk. Now on to downside protection. When we talk about downside protection, it's like an all-weather property. Be it in good times and bad times, there will always be organic local demand, which is what we want. So I've talked about the MRT, and that is essentially a very strong downside protection, and both these properties tick that box. Next, being within 1 km to a primary school is also a plus point, and more so if it is a reputable one. For the purpose of this comparison, we're relying on schoola.com, which has a thorough ranking of primary schools in Singapore. For Lentor Hills, it is within 1 km of St. Nicholas Girls' School, which is ranked 10th, but only half of the units are within 1 km. And then you have Anderson Primary School, ranked 51. For the Myst, it is within 1 km of Bukit Panjang Primary, ranked 39, Zhenghua Primary, ranked 70, and CHIJ Our Lady Queen of Peace, ranked 129. So it looks like Lentor Hills does in fact win the Myst when it comes to having more popular schools within 1 km. Although not all units are within 1 km of St. Nicholas Girls' School. Now on to the fifth part, analyzing upside potential and the exit strategy. Demand for primary schools is usually also an upside factor. One good case study of how a popular primary school pulled up prices of a development is the Panorama, which also happens to be 1 km to St. Nicholas Girls' School. As you can see from the chart, prices have performed exceptionally well. I personally have friends and clients who have looked at this development specifically to get into St. Nicholas. Now the more important question is, will this upside from St. Nick's also be replicated in Lentor Hill? One reason why Panorama benefited so much is because the current lack of available resale units for sale. As of this video, there are 79 listings for sale that are within 1 km to St. Nick's. However, say you were to buy Lentor Hills and you want to exit in about 5 to 10 years time. Now, will this price chart look like Panorama's price chart? I think the answer is no, and here is why. In the coming years, there will be an injection of about 1,400 units that are also within 1 km of St. Nick's. In the past 2 years, Panorama sold about 53 units, or 7.5% of its units each year. Now, assuming that each of these new developments also have about 7.5% of its units being transacted in the resale market, that works out to be about 105 units which is more than double the number of units available for sale today. And for parents out there, you might also be aware that there are only about 150 spots to fight for if you don't already have a child studying in the same primary school. So for these reasons, I think that the positive effect of St. Nick's will wane over time. Next, if you look at the exit strategy, I think Lentor Hills also presents a few challenges. You might have heard of the common, future government land sales will pull up prices of your property, this logic. Now this is real, and here is one case study of that happening in Buangkok. Notice how the older quads gets pulled up by Aspirina in 2010, and then Jewel and Buangkok pulls the two of them up in 2013, and recently Sengkang Grand pulling all of them up in 2018. So buying a property that has an early mover advantage in an area with future government land sales slated to launch is a proven strategy. However, if we apply this to Lentor, you might already be aware that there are a total of 6 government land sales and 1 reserve site in this area. I think the issue here is that there are too many government land sales launched within too short a time frame, so much so that the demand cannot catch up with the short spike in supply. We also have 2 government land sales announced at Springleaf MRT, totaling about 1,500 units. So I've been scratching my head, there has never been a time in history where so much land has been released in a single area in such a short span of time without any clear visibility on where the demand is going to be from. If you were to overlay the URA master plan, you will notice that there are these massive plots of land that are zoned residential subject to detailed planning. So there will be more residential properties coming up, and most likely they will be HDBs, which is great for HDB upgrader demand. However, right now, these are still forests, and even if HDB were to announce the BTOs on these lands tomorrow, this property will only be reaching their MOP 2031, 2032. So if you are buying Lentor Hills, I feel that the exit strategy can be tricky. Probably you need to have a longer holding period till beyond 2030 to fully enjoy the upside potential of HDB upgrader demand. Now to the Myst exit strategy. I do think at least it is clearer compared to Lentor Hills. Firstly, let's take a look at the HDB upgraders in the area. If we just zoom out of this map, you'll notice that there are many HDB clusters surrounding the Myst. A quick search on Property Guru will also show us that there are 227 HDB listings on sale today. Of course, not all will be upgrading to a condo, but this is also certainly more than Lentor area, which have 41 HDB listings on sale. Zooming further out, there are also the Bukit Batok, Tengah, and Choa Chu Kang HDB towns with a large pool of HDB upgraders. Versus Lentor Hills, there are clusters like Yio Chu Kang and Mayflower, but these are smaller clusters. And it is still uncertain when the large plot of land in between Lentor and Springleaf will be built into HDBs. Hence, I do think that the Myst is the winner here, as at least the future buyers of your unit are more visible today. So we can have a clearer exit strategy compared to Lentor Hill. So finally, who wins between the two? Now, it was a really close fight, but if I summarize the analysis done above, the Myst does win by a little bit, and the kicker comes from the fact that it has a clearer exit strategy compared to Lentor Hills. If you are an investor, I will lean towards the Myst. However, if you're looking for something longer term for own stay, and you're looking for a school within 1 km of St. Nicholas, then Lentor Hills is my top pick within all the other Lentor properties. And with that, we've come to the end of the video, and thank you so much for staying till the end. Now, if you are keen to explore either Lentor Hills or the Myst, or if you're simply exploring your options, you can contact me at my number shown on the screen. Every buyer is different, so what might work for your friend might not be suitable for you and your family, and I will spend the time to really understand what your requirements are. I've also done up a list of alternatives to Lentor Hills and the Myst. If you'd like a copy of the PDF, click on the link in the description below and I'll send it to you. And if you'd like to refer to my research, the slides that I presented today, you can also click on the link in the description below and I'll send it to you. And with that, thank you again, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our Own This Property YouTube channel. I'll see you in the next video.